Hi, welcome to PHP tutorial. This is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. The notes for this video can be found here at this URL. It is case sensitive. The website is loaded here. It looks something like this. So in the last video we stopped at eg008. We finished select, and now we are going to do insert. Okay, all the notes for this video can be found on this website. All you need to do is click on the text link so you can see the actual PHP code, but it's not a very good idea to just copy and paste code without understanding what's going on. So you should follow the instruction of this video and try to type in the code by yourself, run it, hit errors and fix the errors. That's the way to learn coding, okay? Not copy and paste. Everybody know copy and paste. All right, so let us start our Apache web server. And our MySQL database server. And we also need to look at PHP and MyAdmin, so when you insert something, you actually see the changes in the database. Okay, so let's click on the admin button here to go to PHP MyAdmin. And if you remember, the username is your server username is Harry, and this is the password. So now you are in the database, and we want to insert into Kung Fu Panda Shop products table. Okay, and in the products table we have these fields. We have product ID, which is auto increment. All right, so you do not even need to insert into this. Why is it auto increment? Is because when you create a database, we kept all right, so let's go. Sorry, I'm a little bit too fast. So when you create a database, if you right click here, go to File Explorer, ctemp, myphp, eg008. Remember, we kept the SQL file here, which is a very bad thing to do. I kept it there because so that I can explain the code. But you should never put your SQL file on a web server. Okay, so this is the file that we use to create a database. When you did the products table, when you create a products table, you say that your product ID is auto increment. So technically you do not even need to insert into product ID. All you need to do is insert into, let me close that. You need to insert into category ID, product code, product name, and list price. Okay. All right. So in order to do that, first we want to find the correct SQL statement. So it has nothing to do with PHP yet. So we want to write SQL statement somewhere. Any text file will do. We want to keep it somewhere so that when we make a mistake, we do not have to retype everything again. So let's say I want to insert a new thing. All right, we want to insert into the products table. We want to only insert 4 fields, so the 4 fields are 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take care of the syntax. 3 commas will take care of 4 fields. What are their values? Okay, 3 commas will take care of those. Right, so that is an SQL statement. So the 4 fields are, these are the name of the 4 fields. Case sensitive. Okay, and you want to insert a value. So category ID is, we are going to insert action figure. Category ID is a number, so we say 1 is the action figure. Product code, and we want to create a fake product, a dummy product, right? So I'm sure you watch Kung Fu Panda like 5 times. So let's look for, and everybody know who Lok Sheng is, right? So this is Lok Sheng. Okay, so that's Lok Sheng. Lok Sheng. All right, so we are going to give the product code. Lok Sheng, product name is alright, this price, let's say 17.99. Okay, so we want to insert that into the database. Oh, sorry, these are alright, so that should work because these are strings. Okay, that should work. Alright, let's try that. Copy this. You're looking at the products table, very good. So go to SQL. As long as you select the Kung Fu Panda Shop database, you can do this. Copy this one in and say go. If they say no error, that means your code is correct. Okay, and then if there's error, you have to fix it. All right, so let's browse the product table again. So you see Lok Sheng here, category ID is 1, that's the name and that's the price, and then they give you a product ID 12. Okay, so now you know it works. But before we test it in PHP, we have to delete this Lok Sheng first, because when we create the MySQL, when we create the table, we also say that our product code must be unique. Okay, so product code is unique. That means you cannot have 2 Lok Sheng. So to test this again, we have to delete this Lok Sheng because we are going to use the same insert statement to test our PHP code. All right, let me delete this first. Lok Sheng is gone. So now we have to do this insert in PHP. Okay. All right, so let's do that. Let's go to eg008, ctem myphp eg008. We are going to create a new PHP file. Right click, new text document. We are going to call it eg008d insert.php. All right, and open this in Notepad++, and we can copy some of the code that we did in the previous example so that we do not have to type everything from scratch. Also made this video shorter. So let's open up our AC Select. In AC Select, we require once the database connection. We can reuse that. Copy that. Paste here. And then we can write our query. But before we write our query, we want to put this is hard code. Okay, hard code is not good. If you actually want to use this code over and over again, you have to put these values into variables so that user can key in from a text box or a drop-down menu. So we are going to okay, we are going to do this first. All right. We want to reuse this, right? So let's copy the whole thing except semicolon. We don't need a semicolon there. Obviously, this code has problem because if you use single quote here, you cannot use single quote here. Okay, you have to use double quote here, or you have to use double quote here and single quote here. So yeah, this one has a problem, but we're going to fix that later. So because first let's worry about this hard coding. So these are not good. So we are going to create a variable called category ID, which is a string. Code is, I'm sorry, category ID is an integer, and then code is a string. And then the name is a string. Copy and paste. And then the price is a double or floating point number. All right. And then we want to put these 4 values into the SQL statement, but we don't want to just insert them, okay, because if we insert them, there are some security issues, and so just not good, okay? So we want to do bind value, all right? So I think technically you can even break this into multiple lines, but let's don't do that here. So we want to do bind value, okay? Okay, and then we are going to start binding values. So the first one is category ID. Second one is code. As you can see, I'm trying to copy and paste so I don't have to type too much, and also to avoid the number of typos I made. Okay, and then bind value. We are going to bind 4 values. So you get the syntax right, and then you start copy and pasting things inside. So we bind this with that. So you finish the bind value, and then you execute the statement. And then you close the cursor to close the statement. Right, and then if you do this, okay, let's see what happens. Save your work. If you do this, you come over here and you try to run the code. You see there's no login here. You come here and run the code. Go to that URL, of course, and say you want to insert. After you insert, you don't see anything here, but if you come over here and browse again, you'll see that there's a login being inserted below, okay? All right, but then you will say, hey, this user don't see anything. It would be nice after you insert, you see the login is inserted there. What we can do is we can rerun our select code that we wrote. The select code that we wrote that actually browse the table, okay? So first, let us delete login first. Again, same reason. We cannot insert login twice. And then we come over here and say, after this thing is run, we include the select. Okay. Again, insert is not the right way to do things. Basically what you do is you copy all the code from that file, put it below here. The control is still in insert. Not a good way to do things, okay? We are going to fix that in example 10. But For now, that's good enough for our learning purpose. So we come over here, and when you reload the insert, they will insert the code. They will insert LogChain into the database and copy all the code from select. So what you see is you see LogChain being loaded from the select here. Okay, of course, if you come over here and browse, you also see LogChain in the database, because basically what select does is to pull the data from the database. Again, you see here, although the title becomes select because I include the code, the control is still insert. So actually this is not a good thing, right? It's some of the problem when you encounter when you use include. Okay. All right, that's a good place to stop. Before I move on, I'm going to delete LogChain again. Oh, one more thing. If you see the product ID is auto increment because I deleted LogChain twice. When I install LogChain again, you are not going to get 12 and 13. You get 14 auto increment, which is kind of interesting. All right. So of course, if you don't want this kind of thing to happen, you don't use the auto increment primary key. You generate your own primary key for your table. Like you use things like social security number or matriculation number or something, right? But if you use auto increment, this kind of thing will happen in the process. Okay. All right, that is a good place to stop. Did I delete LogChain? No, I did not. Okay, let's delete LogChain. So, and I'm not going to try this again because that will insert it into the database again. So let me close this. So we finish insert. It's a very simple insert hard code, although it has the potential to load things into the variables and do an insert. Okay, that's a good place to stop. I'll see you at the next video. Thank you. Bye.